All right, so this is the honeycomb pattern. So I'm using 5 bundles of yarn for this one. Each of them are 28 yards. So I am starting with a normal slip knot. Kind of make it so it looks like a 9. Pull the working yarn through and then tighten it. And I am doing a total of 22 loops for this one. And you don't want to make them too small. I make them about 3 fingers wide. Keep in mind that the honeycomb pattern takes up a lot more yarn than normal, but it's also super comfy and just so beautiful. About 3 fingers, 22 loops total. All right, so after you have your 22, you will turn over your braid. So now your working yarn is coming up. So the very last loop, don't worry about that because I am skipping that first one because I like the edge better if I leave it alone. So now you have these little dragon loops or dragon humps in the middle, and sometimes you have to kind of dig for them. They're kind of hiding a little bit, but they're right in the center of the braid. And the reason we will turn it over like this is so the other side will have the braid for the beginning and also when you end your blanket, so it will look the same. But it's just a preference, you don't have to do it. So you will pull your working yarn through. So you will pull it towards you and make them a little bit bigger than normal for this pattern. Make sure you go through every single little hump. Also make sure they are the same size. See, you can see sometimes you have to kind of find it, but it is there. You go all the way to the end. So once you're here, you're done, they're all the same size, you will then turn it over again. And look, this is a beautiful braid. So let's get started. So anyway, so this pattern, you will leave that first alone, or you can knit it, that is totally up to you, but you will always knit it, the end loops. I mean, you should always do a regular knit, or you can leave it alone like me, like that. So you work in 2s to make this honeycomb, and it's actually pretty simple. So the first 2, the honeycomb will be made out of the 4 ones, but you start with the first 2. So it's easy if you just go 2, 2. So the one on top is always the direction it's going. So you're starting with that 2, it goes under. So see, the top one is the direction it's going. So here, the second one, you will knit first and it comes on top. And then you have to find the one in the back. It can be hiding a little bit, so make sure that you don't forget about it. That will be your second loop. So they always cross over like this. So now you have the left going to the left, and now you want to create the honeycomb going to the right. So the second 2 loops, you find the second 2 ones, 2 goes to the left and the other ones go to the right. So now you will start with the back first and then the front. This way you can see it's starting to form that loop or the honeycomb. Like that. Hang in there. It's that first row, it can be a little hard to tell because you don't have a pattern yet. So the next 4. So again, you will start knitting that top one, and then you will knit the bottom. And then the next 2, you will go under first and then the top one. Let's try again. The second one is on top. Then you find that underneath. And now the second one is on the bottom. Top first and then the bottom. And then the last 4, top, and the next 2 you start with the bottom. And then that final loop you will just knit, a regular knit. So going back from right to left, you will always do a full row of knits, regular knits, but make sure it's not too tight. But see, you can start seeing the little diamonds or honeycombs forming. It takes some practice, so don't worry. So now you will just knit the whole way through. Leave that first one alone. We knitted it going, but we will leave it alone coming back. Regular knit going all the way from the right to the left every time. And that's also when you want to change your color, and I will show that in a little bit. Make sure you have your all 22 all the way. So this time, we again leave that first one alone. So now you want to do the opposite going back, because now you want to come in. So remember, the second one was on top going earlier, but now you want the second one on the bottom. So you're starting with the bottom and then the top. This way that honeycomb will go in. And now you will start with the top and then the second one underneath. See, that is our first little diamond. And again, your second one goes under first, top one on top, and always the top one will be, or the second one you knit will be the one you will see the pattern with, if that makes sense. second goes under, the first on top, and again now you start with the one on top and then under, and it's the same all the way to the right. On top and under. So start with under and then on top and under, and a regular knit. That's what it looks like right now. You can definitely start seeing the honeycomb pattern. And again, going from right to left, you will do regular knit the whole way. That's what it looks like. You have 2 on top and 2 for the bottom there. Regular knit the whole way, and again leave that last one alone. So here we are again. You leave that last one alone, and now you have to go back out again. So now you're back to how you started it with the second one on top. Bottom and top. So it's just the opposite this time. So you go back out like that. Second on top and bottom and top. The whole way through. It's definitely not a beginner's pattern, but once you start seeing the lines and you kind of understand it, then it is so much fun. All right, so it's time to change color, and we want to do that on our full knit row. So you cut it to the second to the last loop because you want that last one to be your next color. You can tie a knot, or in my case, I fuse them together. So the middle piece will just melt together. Make sure it sticks. Make sure there is no hard edges or anything. If I feel those, then I will cut it again and fuse it again. Perfect. So now you redo that last one you pulled out, and it's perfect like that. And now you're starting with a new color. And now you would just knit normal again from right to left. Keep the loop size consistent. This is a perfect lap size blanket, or even for like a chair, you just cover yourself. It is perfect size for that. So now we're going back in for our second row of the honeycomb. So now we're back to the underneath goes under, or the second goes under and then on top, and the second goes on top and under the whole way through. under, on top, and on top and under. Under, on top and on top and under. I absolutely love this pattern, and it's fun to do. You have to focus a little bit, and I like the challenge of these honeycombs. It is just such a joy to make. And now again, you do a regular knit coming back. So this is what it looks like right now. You can definitely see all the honeycombs. And we want to change the color again. You don't want that to be knitted because you want that last one to be the next color. So you want to pull out the second to the last one and cut it up all the way up towards the loop. Make sure your scissor is sharp. And again, you fuse it together. Hold it for a few seconds. Don't burn yourself. And again, it's fitting perfect. And now again, your next color will be the beginning of that last loop. And you knit all the way through to the left. So this is the end, and let's close it up. So that second loop goes in the first, and now you are creating this pretty braid. The second goes inside and you pull it out. So I actually decided to put a border on mine, so you can just start your blanket regular. You don't have to turn your braid over in the beginning like we did, because I did the border on it. But if you decide not to, then I would recommend you turning the first chain over. Don't keep it too tight. Make sure you don't pull the end of your blanket so it's turning in. And if you are interested in a border tutorial, you can go back. I do have them, and I will gladly show it on this blanket as well. Just let me know in the comments. I think this blanket turned out so cute. You go all the way to the end. Make sure you didn't miss any loops so you can count as you go. Cut your yarn. You don't really need that much, but you put it through that last loop and you tighten it, but make sure you don't tighten it too much so it breaks. So that was one knot, and I like to do at least one more to secure it. So I just go on the inside to tie another knot. And now you can trim it. And then I fuse mine on the inside. just to secure it a little bit better. Please let me know what you think of this gorgeous honeycomb blanket. I will show you what the border looks like. So this is before the border. And this is after. I love it. I think it turned out so pretty. Look at that. It's just absolutely perfect. I love it. Please let me know what you think, and I will continue to post more tutorials.